I actually have
Anyway.
I have a confession to make this the start of this before the music kicks in. You guys use the word cuck a lot in the group chat, and I straight up don't know what it means.
Cuck
I assume it's something sexual, but I have no idea.
Yeah, it is.
Hey. Hey. Yeah, it's just something that you've used it many times in the group chat, and I assume it's something that I shouldn't really know about because it already. You know when you just hear a word and you just go, "That sounds fucking gross." I don't really want to know what it is. That's one of
it's
those
freaky.
words.
It's freaky deaky as soon as you hear it. You're just like, oh. Yeah, it's like. So a cuck or a cuckold is is like a guy who watches his wife get fucked by another guy.
Nice. I mean, that term is thrown around quite loosely in our group chat. Then I thought it was just like another word for being a.
I think, yeah, like socially, it's just kind of like become like little bitch. Like that's kind of what it is. But really, it's just we should all be cancelled for kink shaming.
Yeah, some deep dark fantasy. I mean, that's my kink is kink shaming. That's how I got off.
I think you found a loophole, man. Like, all right, fair enough. Cool. Yeah, that's a real loophole.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, welcome to episode 3 of Dead End Friends. My name is Craig Jimson. I am your only host. This guy is also my guest. Who's your name?
I'm a huge ass.
Now, what's your actual goddamn name, bro? Who are you?
Seymour Butts. Seymour Butts.
Nice to meet you. It is an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast. I've read a lot about you. I mean, you've got some books out, you've got some articles out, so it's really nice to have you on.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't really know how this will go because I don't know anything about you, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna squash it. My name is Gary Gordon. It is what it is. Just crushed.
Immediately squash that. Oh yes,
absolutely.
So we're on episode 3. Doing well so far. The numbers are creeping. We've got some kind of steady numbers, steady listeners, which is awesome. Really fucking cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's also a shame when we give it up like next week. We just can't be bothered anymore. Like, oh, we're on the rise. Do you know what? I just pure can't be bothered anymore. I've got other things to do.
I'll do it myself. I'll sit here and speak to no one and have nobody listen to it. Because I mean, you'll probably be the selling point out of the two of us because you have a lot of things to say, whereas I just kind of will say things and then hope that something comes out of it.
You feed me the info.
Yeah.
Like you feed me the lines, and I'm just like, okay. I think I said it to Sammy, whereas like you're the brains and I'm the talent, which was like an absolute joke, but it's kind of become that way. You literally do everything, and I post maybe one time on Instagram that we have a podcast.
I'm making the beats. You're the MC. I am the Mad Lib to your MF Doom. That's what this is.
God damn it. R.I.P.
R.I.P. I mean, we can be the mad villain of the podcast world. That's what we can be. I'm into that.
The two of us have done nothing of worth, nothing of note until now, but already we are saying that we are the best. That is what it is.
Yeah, we are. For sure. We'll get there. So yeah, the numbers are kind of creeping up, which is cool. We still get people sending lots of messages and stuff, which is really nice. I really like hearing from people. I really like hearing, because people are very good for giving us critiques as well. So people will tell us certain things, and it helps us. That is what's going to help grow this thing. We're gonna.
It's a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah, and we're just gonna sit here and spit some shit for an hour each week. But if people are kind of coming at us and telling us what they liked and didn't like, then it helps us make sure that we're putting out some good content,
Exactly. This is a collaboration now.
Yeah, for sure. So can maybe I mean, I like the idea of doing some like shout outs and stuff. For anybody that's giving us good advice and stuff, but I'll leave that just now. People, you know who you are. You know who you are. Who helped us out. So yeah, I'm really glad that it's still, people are still listening to it and enjoying it. As much as we're only 3 episodes in, it's not like we've fucking done anything yet. But
don't give up yet, because we are. I know I'm kidding around and saying that we're gonna give up, but we're not. We're in it. We're in it for the long haul.
I mean, we're in it until at least we can do this in a room together, and then we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Just sitting in the same room. I mean, that's creeping closer. That is actually creeping closer and closer. Like, I was looking at some of the restriction changes and stuff. Like, it actually is getting to the point where, like, it's in the kind of foreseeable future where we might be able to do that. It's just, we'll need to work out logistically how we're going to do it and stuff. But it would just be so much fun being able to do it in a room with you. Like,
yeah, it would definitely. You know, this is fine. We've spoke on the phone before. This is essentially a weird phone call. But I think it wouldn't change the dynamic. But, you know, I think, like, just now, obviously doing it over, like, Zoom or whatever this is, like, it's like the whole world had to learn how to have a different type of conversation, which is so mad, you know, like, there's no natural flow anymore to these conversations that we're having, because you're constantly watching the other person. You're like, are they about to speak? Are they about to interrupt me right now? But, like, they don't know that they're about to interrupt you, because they think you've finished. Like, you know, like, the internet has a lag. It doesn't matter how fast your internet is. Like, there's always, like, a second or two out. So everyone's had to just kind of, like, go back to basics, learn how to talk again.
learn how to actually communicate.
Like, when you're in real, like face to face, you know, like, things are just so different. So it would be fun to see what happens when it's, like, face to face. And it is getting closer. You are right.
It is getting very close. Like, I don't know. I don't think I've actually spoken to you since, like, the restriction stuff changed. Like, have you spoken to the guy who owns the barbers? Like, have you guys been given a date or anything?
Yeah, we've been given a date. It's like the 5th of April, so we'll see what happens.
Right, okay. It just totally depends on I guess it just totally depends on how people react. I mean, the problem that you have is, like, or at least the problem that I feel like I've seen is they start putting dates on things and people immediately, like, jump the gun, even though the date says, oh, it's another fucking 3 months before we could have some kind of normality back to, like, a lower level or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But people still just jump the gun.
Yeah, it's not even, like, jumping the gun, you know, like, I've got my books open and that, and the response has been cool, so it's nice to know that when I go back to work I will be busy. But, like, these dates that have been thrown around for just about everything are all dependent on whether or not, like, the cases go down and all that kind of stuff, you know. I'm fairly confident that it will, and that'll be nice. It'll be good to get back and, you know, just see a bit of life kind of creeping back in. It'll be good.
Are you anxious about going back? Like, are you anxious about going back from not working to working again?
Kinda. You know, you get so used to not doing anything, you know, like. Yeah. I've definitely found my routine. It took me a while to find my routine last year when it all started. Then went back to work, and I really struggled going back to work then. Spend most of the time not speaking to anyone, and then you're speaking to like 100 people a week. That's insane. So I've fallen back into that trap of I'm very comfortable in my life right now, and it's, you know, I've got my days for working out, days for hanging out. Like, it's fine, and you know, I changed my working hours last year so I could live a little bit more. So it'll take me a wee while to adjust. I'm not exactly anxious about, like, being in contact with people, because we're really clean and, like, safe. Yeah, we do everything that we're supposed to do. So yeah, it'll be mentally draining for the first couple of weeks, but once you kind of find your feet again, you'll be all right.
Yeah, it's the social anxiety of it, isn't it? It's not the actual anxiety of the virus that we've lived with. It's more the social anxiety of, I've almost been a recluse for a year. I've been a proper hermit, and now going back to, like you said, full blown conversations with people. It's like, will my voice last a whole day?
Exactly. Like, it's so strange, like to go into these like situations again. Like even like out with friends, going to like pubs and stuff when we could, or even just going out for dinner. Like it was odd. It just wasn't what we knew it to be, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, they kept throwing the new normal around, but I guess we did fall into the new normal like quite quickly. Everyone was just kind of like, oh, this is life now. So it'll be interesting to see what comes back and what doesn't come back. Yeah.
I think I mean, I've kind of said to my work that I'm not overly interested in going back. I mean, I think it's more just the travel for me. All of my work that I do can be done from home. I've not lost any momentum or lost any way of working in the house. I know I've set up like a proper station for me to sit at, so it's like I don't really have a proper need to be in the office, and I think that's going to happen for a lot of people. Is they're going to be like, well, I'm actually quite comfortable and happy at home while I'm working. As much as it's like it's tough when the kids were here. Obviously now Luna's back at school, and then Mac will be at nursery. He's in nursery 2 days, but it's just the thought of having to drive for an hour to get to my work and then an hour home. Oh my god, it fills me with dread. Absolutely fills me with dread. Just sitting in like third gear for like half an hour because of traffic. I
think a lot of employers have seen that productivity's up and all that kind of stuff. So the actual need for a work like space is becoming less and less important. You know, maybe like nip into the office once a week to touch base and just kind of like, here's what's going on, this is it, blah blah blah, done. You know, and I think that's going to be the same for a lot of people. So it'll be interesting to see how it'll be interesting to see how the world adapts again when things become more normal. Just I keep saying more normal, like normal obviously didn't work before, you know. Like I think a lot of people through the pandy have just like they've just like realized that the way that we did work before was probably quite detrimental to everyone's like mental health. You know, the pressure that was put on everyone to like be in an office, dress up smart, be like the professional version of themselves. Not to say that people who are working at home are not the professional version of themselves, but they're definitely more laid back. They're definitely thinking more on their feet, and they're just trying to do things that they think make sense for their work. So I don't know. I think that the only real industries that will probably suffer coming out of it will be hospitality. Which is a shame because because if everyone else is having or everyone else has a view to like crush their hours, cut them in half, make sure there's no one going into the offices and all that, it means there's more free time, which means people will want to go out more. So unfortunately, the people who work in hospitality are either going to work more or work less shifts to account for there being more members of staff. So that's going to be a really weird kind of thing to keep our eyes on, I guess. Like it'll be interesting to see whether or not that does really affect people.
Or just everything could just go back to exactly the way it was before. We just don't feel any difference. Imagine that. But up here.
Do you think there'll be like a hangover from it? Do you think people will be like, oh, I missed lockdown? Like, it'd be so weird. Everyone's just like, oh, remember that time we had 6 months off in a row? That was sick.
I wouldn't know. That wasn't my pandy experience. I've like both myself and Emma have had to work through the entire thing and have a wee family at the same time, and it's really weird how everybody's, or it's not weird, but it will be interesting that like everybody will have their own, like you say, hangover from it. Mine will be like, can I get a wee bit more peace, a wee bit more, because like we'll be able to have like the kids staying over with grandparents, and we'll be able to have a wee bit more support that way. So it's like, and then Emma's quite keen on going back to the office a bit as well, so it means like there would be days where I would be in the house myself, which I don't think I've been alone in the house since about January of last year. It was probably the last time I was alone in this house. There's always been somebody here, just because there has to be, you know.
Yeah.
So it will be really interesting to hear everybody's kind of stories after the fact, almost just like how different everyone's situation has been.
Yeah, it's been really strange. I wonder. What's the best way to say it? I wonder if it'll be like an instant thing. Is what I think I'm saying. Like whether or not people will be like slowly but surely reintroducing themselves to society, or whether they'll just kind of go, take me now, you know, like
I'm here,
I'm ready. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It'll be a weird one. It'll be a weird one to see, but I think we will all be glad when it's over. We will all be glad when things can get back. I'm not going to say back to normal. When things are the new normal again. Because there's only so much you can do. Like everybody I tend to speak to when I'm like, if I'm dropping the kids off at school or nursery or something, it's like it's the same conversation you're having with these people every day. Because nothing is changing. We're all just stuck in this like static four walls. This is what we've dealt with for the past year. Nothing has really changed. So getting some different conversation out of people will also be nice. But right now it's just like, oh yeah, so the weather, eh? That's about it. That's all you get. Did you watch the rugby at the weekend? Did I? Fuck, man. Of course I didn't.
Why? I've got really into rugby, by the way.
Oh, of course you have. Of course you have, man. You bought like so you get mountain boots, you got your little fucking like hiking gilet or whatever you call them. Now you're in a rugby, bro.
Look,
you're a 40-year-old now.
Rugby is a really, really intense sport. I don't know any of the rules, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been betting on it, and I've won a little bit of money on it, so that makes me like anything. If I'm being honest.
Well, I mean, you could like Iranian basketball because you can bet on it.
Can you bet on Iranian basketball?
I'm pretty sure I've bet on an Iranian basketball game before. Yes.
Well. But no, the rugby's it's been good. Scotland aren't that bad, which is always fun.
I wouldn't know. I think I've watched one since it's been on. I think I watched some of the Wales and France game the other day. I think that's about it.
Oh, you watched some of it?
Yeah.
The ending was honestly the most intense 5 minutes of my entire life. It was insane. I had money on it.
Oh, did you?
I had money on the 3 games that day. I had money on Scotland, Italy, Ireland, England, and then Wales, France.
Uh-huh.
So I needed Scotland to win, I needed Ireland to win, and then I needed Wales to win.
Oh.
So we were watching it, and it was mad intense. And my partner's flatmate was like, "Oh, are you going to be upset if you lose money here?" And I was like, "No." Because this game has been insane. So it ended up like France won. They got a try in extra time or whatever, overtime, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Jesus, well, I don't even care, because that was the most amped up I've felt in forever watching sports, you know?
Yeah. So
I went on to the betting app just to check to see what was going on, just to make sure I definitely lost my money. And there was 90 quid sat in my account. I was like, what
was that?
What happened there? So what I think happened is the bet had an extra time, extra chance thing on it.
Right.
So I think when regulation time ended, Wales were winning. So they've just cashed out, give me money. Yeah, and then Wales lost, and I was just like, well, I've won twice, because I just got to watch a really good game of rugby. And I won money. Perfect. Straight into the holiday fund for whenever they let me off this fucking island. Can't wait.
Where would you go? Where's the first? So you're looking online. First place you look at for flights. Where?
So we already spoke about it. We'd like to go to Berlin.
Oh, nice.
And then we want to do 3 days in Berlin, a day traveling. We want to get the train so that we can kind of go through all the scenery and
Cool.
Then end up in Paris and then do a couple of days there.
Obviously. Like, I have never met a man who lives in Paris but doesn't live in Paris. You're the only man I've ever met.
Shut the fuck up, man. Like, honestly, I'm sick of this. Every single day, you're just like, oh, you're the most French guy I know. I'm like, piss off. Just because I like a croissant, you know, and looking.
What's it called?
A croissant.
A croissant? Is that how you say it? I have fucking no idea. In
No,
my
they
house,
say croissant. They say croissant.
Yeah.
Croissant. But I'm actually not French, so I'm just like proving. It's like this is me like proving to myself that I am a normal person by saying croissant wrong. That's a croissant, eh?
So you had to think about saying croissant. So you've just outed yourself. In your head, you said croissant. But you filtered it and went a croissant.
A croissant. I'll have a croissant, por favor, which is Spanish.
So European. It's unreal, man. So you would do Berlin for a couple of days. That's a place that I've never actually been is Berlin. I don't even think I've ever been to Germany.
I've never been either.
Nah.
Never been either. But Shanna loves it.
Yeah.
So she wants to show me around there. She's not really done any of the touristy things. She's not like big on that. But I will make that happen because I want to see the touristy things.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
Berlin Wall.
The only real thing I want to see in Berlin is the Ramones Museum. I just wanna go there.
Nice. That would be sick.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And then you'd like get the train like from Germany to France. Like,
so where does that go through?
I'm pretty sure it goes like through like the Alps and all that. Let me open up a map. Let me get my atlas.
While you're doing that, I'll talk over just so we're not having some dead space. There's actually
there's no dead space because I've already got it. So
fucking hell, man.
I don't know how. Look, I don't know how long you thought that was going to take.
I'm pile up here. Nothing goes fast in my house. There's actually a really sick vinyl shop in Berlin that I've always wanted to go to.
Is it Gore-Tex or Cortex or something?
No, Gore-Tex is what you have inside of a bear cost jacket. That's what keeps you dry.
No, I'm sure there's a place called Cortex.
Oh, is it? I don't know. No, the place that I know of is called HHV.
Oh, that's not the one. There's two that I've heard of. One has like their own craft beer. The other one has like their own craft coffee or
obviously,
coffee, whatever.
Naturally.
So I don't know which way the train goes because I'm
get a compass.
I don't work on the trains. No, shut the fuck up. Because Germany has a border with with France.
With Paris.
So with Paris. With France. So shut up. So I don't know whether it would go like the long way around. If it goes the long way, it'd go through like Switzerland and shit, which would be sick.
That would be sick.
But then it could go through Belgium. I don't know. Either way, I think I'm going to be real happy.
Yeah.
With seeing like the mountains and stuff, because that's really why I want to do it. I imagine it would just be beautiful. Like,
oh, gorgeous.
It'd be really cool. And then let's say 3 days in Paris, and I can show her around, show her the spots.
Yeah, so she's taking you to her European stomping ground, and then you're taking her to your European stomping ground.
Yes.
That's pretty sick. That is pretty sick. I mean, me and Emma went to Paris for my 21st.
Sorry, hold on.
Go.
You're calling me the most French guy.
Yeah.
Tell me, my friend.
Yeah.
What do you have tattooed on you? You have the Eiffel Tower tattooed on you. Don't even go there.
I mean, see, at this point, you can't really tell. It could be the Blackpool Tower, for all we know.
They're the same thing. I can't believe I've been taking like proper ribbons off you for months, years, about being the most French guy.
Yeah.
And there you are.
Yeah, but
Sat
isn't
there.
this the most non-French thing to have a tattoo of the Eiffel Tower? Can you find me a French person or a person from Paris that has an Eiffel Tower tattoo? That would be like somebody in Glasgow having the Glasgow Science Centre tower tattooed on their leg.
That would be kind of cool. But also
No.
because when I was in Paris, I didn't see one person with tattoos. I don't know where they live. Like, I don't know where the French goths hang out. I was like, where's the moshers?
Just in Notre Dame.
Just inside Notre Dame.
Just inside it.
In the bell tower.
Yeah.
Just them in Quasimodo.
Yeah, man. No, I'm sure we went to an area like not far from the Notre Dame, but it was like that was the West End part of Paris. I feel like we went to. That was like I felt like I was in like fucking Hill Head Book Club every time I just walked down the street. There was like an American Apparel and shit, like proper wee fucking specialized coffee shops and shit. Yeah, I have no idea what the area was called, but
it'll be the Latin Quarter. Like the Latin Quarter is just over the water. So you got like Pont Neuf, and
Pont
then
Neuf?
like you cross over the water.
Oh, you croissant with some cheese.
You cross over the water. No,
The most French man, you croissant. Oh, you kill me, man. You absolutely kill me.
You cross over the water.
Yeah.
And, there's actually a really great wee coffee shop, like just on the other side of the water, called Shakespeare and Company, or Shakespeare and Brothers, or something like that.
Of course.
So it is a bookshop, but then
course.
it's got like a wee cafe thing, and you can sit outside, have your wee coffee, and like just over there is Notre Dame. It's class.
And the smallest cups as well. The coffees always come in such little cups.
Yeah. I went in and like I always do the same thing whenever I'm like in Paris. Like, you know, like they like you to try a little bit.
Yeah.
So like, you know, me and my pigeon scratch French went in. It's like, oh, bonjour. And like, I can't even remember how to say, do you speak English? Parlez-vous anglais? Parlez-vous anglais? Parlez-vous anglais? So I'd go in and I'd like say that to them, and but instantly I would follow up with like, hello, do you speak English? Like so that they could either go yes in French and answer me in French, or just go, oh, this guy is English or speaks English and can speak to me in the language that I know. Yeah. So I went into this wee place, gave them my best French, and like the girl behind the counter in like the thickest Brummy accent you've ever heard in your entire life was just like, what can I get for you? And I was like, no, I tried so hard.
Just
that was a great
backfired. You walked in sounding like a fucking Muppet, and it just totally backfired.
Exactly. And then there's another wee place around the corner, like same like area, called Circus Bakery, which does the best cinnamon buns I've ever had in my entire life.
Ooh, I do like a cinnamon bun.
Went in, it was just so expensive. Went in, gave them like the usual spiel, and it was just an American accent hits me on the other side, and I was like, fuck me, man. That place, I got a cinnamon bun, and I got a coffee with milk, you know, like not a flat white, but a coffee with milk, because that's what they called it.
A latte.
Kinda, but like not. It was in between like a flat white size and like a latte.
Cool.
And it cost me €16.
Oh!
16 euros.
Why?
It was €5.40 for the coffee,
right?
And then like €6 for the cinnamon bun.
Jesus!
I went 2 days in a row. I couldn't even help myself.
I mean, that's like, there's a wee place down the street from us that we are so like we've pure fall in their trap. I can't remember what it's called now. It's like right down the street. There's always a queue outside it. I can't remember the name. I'm not going to shout them out. They have enough business. But
what, Big Bear?
Aye, I'll bleep it out. It's fine. Fuck them. I don't want to give them business now.
You're the shittiest guy.
I know. Yeah. What was I fucking saying?
Cinnamon buns. Get back on track.
They have some delicious cinnamon buns, and there was another thing that they did for a while. I can't remember what it was, But that was the same kind of thing. You walk in and you're like, oh, can I just have like a couple of that, a couple of that? And then you're walking out with like a kind of wee brown baggie, and you just spent like fucking 25 quid on pastries, and you're like, cool. See you tomorrow.
I went with you that one day, and I got Shannon and her flatmate some stuff, and I got like 2 slices of Cranachan cake. Yeah, and it cost so much money. It was delicious, but it cost so much money.
I know, man. But they also do these fucking gnarly like confetti cakes. I remember getting one for Emma's birthday a couple of years ago, and oh my god, man, I've never had a cake better than that. It was so good. Aye, it's a cool place. That is a cool place. I like that wee shop. It's really cool. I'll go back from being shitty. Called Big Bear Bakery. Very good stuff. Very cool people that work in it as well. So it's a cool little place. Yeah, so we went to Paris for my 21st, which was 7 years ago now.
I don't want to be old.
I hate it so much. So 7 years ago, me and Emma had only been together for about a year at this point. And we went to Paris. And so we did like the proper touristy things though. Like we went to the Eiffel Tower, we went to Notre Dame, we went to Sacré-Cœur, the big church up on the top of
the
fucking giant hill. It's the top
it's
of
beautiful.
A massive hill.
It's on Montmartre, like it's massive. Like it's.
I mean, I would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't so tired. We got to the top and I was just like, I'm knackered when you go. And then there was like a little Irish pub, like just down the hill a little bit from it. So
yeah, Cochrane's.
Yeah, that's the one.
Wait. You walked up the hill to go to it?
Yeah.
There was like a vernacular thing. You could just like, get in it.
I know, but like walking.
When I went, free. The little like tourist train thing. Like,
yeah.
Like a little. I got that.
Did you have it? Did they give you like a little jacket or anything, like a little waistcoat?
No. They didn't give you any of that kind of stuff. But it was just like it was like giving you like a little like audio tour like on the way up.
Yeah.
And it was just like playing like accordion music and stuff. I was like, this is the soundtrack I imagined when like I was like, I'm going to Paris.
You just thought that they just played it in speakers, just all throughout Paris.
The last time I went to Sacré-Cœur, I tried to find the crypt. So there's like a crypt underneath.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see all the graves,
the bones.
Went downstairs to this bit. You had to pay money to get in the bit to go into it, or what I thought was it. So I paid €7. Got there, pressed the thing, got through the turnstile thing, and then it was like only stairs going up the way. I was like, what? Like crypt's underneath, surely. So like there was stairs and we climbed it. It was like 300 steps up the way. So we ended up not seeing the crypt. We spent the money to go upstairs to the viewing platform on the top. Okay.
The viewing platform at the top of a hill that you've just climbed, like as if the view wasn't enough.
Banging views. But oh man, the views up here were way better. They were absolutely amazing. It was unreal, absolutely unreal, worth it, but
not what you were looking for.
Wasn't the dead bodies I was looking for.
Yeah, I remember we had the idea of trying to find what's that guy from The Doors? Isn't his grave
Jim Morrison? Yeah, it's in Père Lachaise.
There?
Yeah, I went and saw it. It was actually really cool. Like, we saw quite a few. There was a guy there though who'd like clearly made it like bucket list, like check off, like go to Jim Morrison's grave and like just stand there with his fucking deep V-neck t-shirt and his fucking what do you call them? His beads. And I was like, you suck so much. And he stood there with like his phone, like he had his phone just like right here, like next to his face, just blaring the Doors.
Oh
like,
Jesus!
Suck, man.
What song?
There's like a tree. I think it was at the end. So I was just like,
it's even worse.
I know. If it was just like Riders on the Storm, I'd be
like,
But there's a tree next to his grave where people have just put like chewing gum. Yeah, it's fucking bogging.
That's so
But-
gross.
Yeah, we wandered around like that graveyard is huge. A cemetery is huge. Like we saw. I wanted to go see Oscar Wilde's tomb,
Yeah.
so I saw that. People would like kiss the glass round about it and thrown like the copies of like Oscar Wilde. You know, he's a big romantic. It's sound.
Okay.
Who else did we saw? We saw Frederick Chopin. So his grave.
Chopin, the
Uh,
Polish
Edith-
composer.
Edith Piaf. So hers.
Edith Piaf. No way, man. I didn't know she was in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think that was it.
Huh? A little bit of Edith Piaf for you.
Cool, man. Yeah, so we saw all them. The little like town that surrounds Père Lachaise is the most depressing place I've ever been.
Oh, for real?
It is literally just funeral parlors. Like there's nothing else. Like they knew their business.
Just all hearses parked down the street.
Yeah, nah, it's cool. It was a good walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember like walking around because you can type the graves into Google Maps and like it directs you.
You
Like,
got a pin.
so I just remember like walking around just like dropping pins just so I could get directions to see big Jimmy Moz's fucking grave.
That's
Yeah,
mad.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like it was something that we didn't do because we were just like, I'm fucking knackered, can't even be bothered. What? I can't even remember. There was nothing. I mean, the thing that stands out the most of it going to Paris for me was we went to see the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Bublé in Paris when he played. It was like the
Wow.
Olympia,
Big Mick Bub.
the Olympia Stadium or something it was called. I can't even remember. And I just remember being like, people go to Paris to go to like Disneyland and all this shit, and I was like, nah, I'm going to Paris. I'm going to see Michael fucking Bublé.
Big Mick Bub. I
Becky
used
Bubbles.
to work with two guys like when I worked in the call center. I was in like the training bit. I was doing my training and they were the ones teaching us how to scam people out of money. And I remember like, so you did like a couple of weeks of training like on the phones within their wee center. So there was like a couple of groups in at the one time, and they would always just like not pick on but like speak to one girl, and they'd always be like, "Oh, do you know you properly remind me of someone." The girl would always be like, "Oh, what?" And like, you look like Mick Bub," and they'd always be like, "Who's Mick Bub?" Like, "Oh, Michael Bublé." Didn't matter. Like, if this girl did not look like Michael Bublé at all, they just always like, "You look like Michael Bublé," and it just got them through the day. And I wonder what they're doing now.
Yeah, you wonder what poor soul they are torturing now. That's
Just
good,
made me
man.
laugh. There was always like a radio playing in the background as well, and like if you went on a call and Ed Sheeran was on the radio, if you sang Ed Sheeran, they would like the next time you were on the phone, they would like stand round about you, like they'd get a couple of people like stand around you, and like just make fun of you, and like they had like toy guns that they would like shoot off like round about you just to try and distract you while you were like trying to do your work.
It's like actually being in the set of Workaholics, man.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I think you do hear a lot of those stories. A lot of people that talk about working in a call centre, they genuinely, most 90% at least, are like, it's fucking horrible
It's
time.
depressing.
But
So you
then
got to do
get
something.
But then you get stories like that, and you're like, yeah, but those stories are good, so you can just keep them coming, you know.
But like the difference is they never had to go on the phones, so like their life was easy. Like
Right.
after you left their like nice wee center,
Yeah.
you were on the proper floor with a real manager who hated you.
Yeah.
Like, it is just not fun after that.
Yeah.
I hated that job.
I actually had a phone interview for a call center. So straight out of high school I got a job, and I worked there for, I think I was there for like 6 years. And I was like, I need to find something else. Like, I've done this for too long and it's just not for me. So I was like, I'll just start applying around, try and get something better. It was just it wasn't long after Luna was born as well. So I was like, I need more money. I have child. I need
Yeah.
more fucking money.
I've got mouths to feed.
I'm sure it was with like an insurance company, and it was like a call center job. And I was just like, when I was applying for stuff, I was just like, any job's a job. I just need something. And I remember the day of the interview, it was a phone interview, and I just remember having that thought of like, I don't want to work in a fucking call center. I actually don't think I can do it. And like the fear properly set in, and I like couldn't do the interview because I couldn't get that thought out of my head. I ended up not doing the interview.
I couldn't see you working in a call center at all, man. Like, you would fucking hate it so much. Like,
I don't answer the phone to anyone. Never mind try and phone other people. And then trying to sell people shit. Like, try to sell people insurance or whatever it was. Oh my god. I don't think I wouldn't have had that job for long if I had got it. I either would have left or I would have been fired. Because I would have just fucking hung up on people.
Yeah, I don't think you would not survive in that environment whatsoever.
Like, eaten alive.
Not even eaten alive. I just think that you wouldn't have the patience for it.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, it's not for you, man. That's fine.
I'm glad I didn't. I ended up getting a different job, and I was in that job for a good couple of years before I moved to where I am now. And all these things, they build you up, man. Like, they build you up in your confidence and in your skills. Like, I remember around about the same time of the kind of insurance debacle of the phone call interview. That was when I remember, I can't remember who I was speaking to about it because it was that long ago now. But I remember speaking to somebody about like my confidence has never. I've never had super high confidence. Well, I mean, after the story, you'll understand that I do. But around this time was like I was really struggling with confidence and stuff. Like, I didn't really have it. I wasn't very good with like talking to people I didn't know, and I always felt very self-conscious about things. And I started listening. To. Do you know the podcast Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee and Kalila?
Yeah.
I started listening to that, and I think it was around that time that they had just started, so it was quite new. They'd only got a couple of episodes in, and I just remember listening to Bobby Lee telling a story about his, like, he was the same. He was dead shit. He like didn't look at himself in a good way. He had dead super low self-esteem, and he just said something like, "One day I just decided, fuck it. I am the way I am, and that's just not going to change." And for some reason, that just like clicked something in my head, completely shifted something in my head. Where I was just like, "Why am I so worried about how people see me? Why am I so worried about how people are perceiving me when I can't change anything about that? I can't change the way they feel, and I shouldn't waste my time trying to change that."
Exactly, because that's, if you were to change, it wouldn't be you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I know, like, changing yourself a little bit to become that person who doesn't give a fuck is changing yourself, but it's not. It's just like, it's taking that part of your personality and just making it bigger, you know? It's not a change, it's just, you're just expanded on a feeling that's already there.
Yeah, and it's taking out the kind of detrimental thoughts as well. It's just, I mean, I still have, I can't say I'm the most confident person ever. Like, obviously, everybody has their own self-doubt and when they have, like, knocks in their confidence and stuff, but I still remember just how, the other thing that obviously helped that was, like, having a kid. I think after we had our first, you just stop. You really do. It's a very cliche, but you do stop caring about what people think of you because you're just like, I don't need to worry about that because I literally need to keep this thing alive. That is my job now, is keeping this fucking child alive. So it's like you kind of, those thoughts kind of go out of your head because you've just not got time for it, and then that becomes like your normal, where you're just like, I don't really give a shit what people think of me. It's like the story that I was saying in the first episode, I think it was, where like certain people I work with every day now, and they're like essentially my like good workmates that didn't particularly like me when I first came in, and it was because of the way I presented myself. And I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change the way I put myself forward. I'm not gonna alter how I put myself across to suit somebody else. That was the big thing for me, is I think I kind of was good at morphing my personality a wee bit to suit people rather than suiting myself. So it's about just stopping saying no to yourself, start saying yes to yourself. Not a yes man. I've not gone down your route of me and Duncan are yes men. It's just that, like, I just having the confidence of knowing how you feel and knowing what's in your own mind, and then not having a problem with people knowing that.
Yeah, and I guess, like, with my job, part of being, like, part of like being a barber is being a bit of a social chameleon, you know. You kind of got to know your audience a little bit. Like, you can have certain conversations with some people, and then other ones. At its core, the views and the way I speak are still very much me, you know. Like, the thoughts that are coming out of my mouth are the ones that I have. But you know, you can change the conversation and all that kind of stuff, like just to suit a little bit, because it's only half an hour. Fuck 'em. Like, I don't care. Like, that half an hour, like, I'll be your best pal as long as you give me 25 quid at the end of it. You know, like, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'll be the guy you want me to be, but I will 100%. You know, like, call you out for being a crappy person.
Yeah.
If I feel that you are being a crappy person, but, you know, if you want to talk about football for half an hour, I can talk about football for half an hour. You know, if you want to talk about movies, I can listen to you talking about movies because I've seen about 5. Like, but outside of that, I'm definitely, like, we just spoke about it yesterday. Like, I've become a little bit more comfortable. Like, just the last year.
Yeah.
You know, just went out yesterday looking the way I looked because I was like, fuck it, I feel comfortable. Like, I'm going to go walk wearing my leather clogs because I can, you know.
Because you can, exactly. It's just that, like, I want to do it. It feels good when I do it. Then why shouldn't I? Obviously, it's like a fine line you need to walk, so you don't start, like, fighting with people because you feel like it. But yeah, I think I remember. I can't just remember how I got onto that and what my point was actually going to be. But
you were talking about having no confidence.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. That was just totally out of the fucking blue. That just came into my head. I don't actually know how we got there.
Oh, we were talking about work. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, we were talking about work.
Yes. So the reason that I am, the reason that I had the doubts on the insurance job was because at that point was when my confidence started turning, and I was like, I kind of know, like, I think I was self-aware of, like, I couldn't do that job just based on where my skills are, and thankfully
what you knew about yourself.
Yeah, and thankfully I did end up getting another job, and again that kind of built up my confidence a wee bit more in my skills and stuff. I don't really know where that was going, but we got there. Fuck. But yeah, the big one's definitely big one for me. I know it wouldn't be the same for everyone, but the big one for me and my confidence was definitely having kids. Like, you just stop worrying about people because of how much shit you have to touch, how much actual literal poop you have to touch as a child. You just stop caring what people think. It was like, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago where I fucking sent you that picture where, like, Mac, my youngest, just stood in the middle of the living room and just took a fat shit on the floor?
Yeah, just dropped the deuce straight in the living room. Perfect. That's your life, man. You know, I'm glad it's not mine.
It's something else, man, honestly. But that definitely, you stop worrying about kind of trivial things when your life revolves around cleaning shit off of another human being.
Man, you make it sound so good.
I'm hoping I'm selling it to other people.
The cult of parenthood. I love it.
That's good stuff, man.
It's a good time. I do love your kids though. Like, I think you definitely have changed since you had the kids.
Yeah.
Which is obviously just natural. But you went from being not reckless, but you were very impulsive when you were younger.
Yeah.
To maybe being a little bit more level-headed.
Yeah.
Not so much that you're not impulsive, because you still definitely are.
Examples.
But it's like
examples.
But it's like, don't do this. It's like it's not big changes you've made. You know, like you're not like just like, because you would just shave your head before. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You would just like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna shave my head. Now your hair's down to like your shoulders, and now it takes you 6 months to ask me for a haircut. You know. Like, you start dropping hints. You're like, oh, my hair's getting so long. Oh, it's just getting in the way. And then you'll message me and you'll be like, oh, right, okay. Whereas before you would just like, gone. You know, wouldn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
Even down to like things like drinking. You wouldn't drink. You don't drink as much now as maybe you did when you were younger, because you physically can't anymore. Like you can't do the hangovers, and I can't imagine doing hangovers with 2 kids. You know, like
we have a video. I think Emma's got it. There's a video of me. I went out for a couple of pints. Genuinely, I didn't even drink that much. That's how fucking bad my tolerance is now. I had like 4 pints. I mean, I was drinking Joker, which I think is pretty high. So I think I had about 4 pints. I was in the old hairdressers, a couple of guys I hadn't seen for a while. And there's this video of me lying on the couch in our old flat, and I'm so fucking burst. And it's just a video of wee Luna. She must only be about 2 in this video, and she's sitting brushing my hair. And I'm just like, thank you. I'm just so
chalk white.
I'm pretty sure I'm actually just on the couch, just in my Y fronts, nothing else on, because I'm just drenched in sweat, proper hangover sweats from fucking 4 pints.
Did that happen when you became a dad, that you started wearing Y fronts? Because I've always, not that I found it weird, but like for a long time I've known that you wear like briefs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did that happen when you became a dad? Is that like just a change that happened, or did you just go, do you know what? Budgie smugglers it is.
I don't think there was like a point where I made the choice. I think I was just like in a shop one day having to buy new underwear, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try a wee pair of Y fronts. Fuck it.
Just a pair of pants.
Pair of proper pants. Big boy pants, as I call them.
Big boy pants.
I don't have any now. They all got holes in them, and I had to throw them out. And I didn't buy any more since. But no, there wasn't like I'm a dad now. I need to start wearing pants, and I need to buy more than one belt, and I need to think about these things. Like, I don't even have a pair of fucking sunglasses. I don't think about that kind of stuff. It was an impulse thing for sure.
You should get yourself a pair of sunglasses.
I really need to, like, see, especially for driving. See, because I'm a specky man, and then there was a point I used to have these like really fucking massive sunglasses. The Luna snapped them in half, funnily enough. But I used to put them on over my glasses when I was driving. So I'm just thinking about it now. So the sunglasses were like an inch in front of my face, because they had to sit over my actual glasses, because I couldn't take my glasses off, because if I do that, I'm going to drive into a wall. So put the sunglasses on over the top. And I just remember thinking, like, people must look into my car when I'm at traffic lights and just be like, what the fuck is on that guy's face?
But I think that is a thing, though, because I did that as well before I got, like, prescription ones. Like,
yeah.
But I bought, like, a pair of, like, really crappy, like, misery signal glasses, like sunglasses. It was years ago. I bought a couple of their t-shirts off their merch store, and I was like, sunglasses, hello. So they were like Wayfarer style, but they had like orange legs that just said misery signals on the side. They were pretty dope, to be fair. Like I loved them, but I couldn't see if I wore them, so I had to like I had like little square glasses at the time.
Yeah, I remember those glasses.
Yeah, I wore them underneath, and then I just had them over the top. And then I didn't get prescription sunglasses up until Funnily enough, the first time I went to Paris, what was that, like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got them and then went.
I really should, man. Like, just for.
It'll change your life.
I mean, the thing is, it's just like we live in Scotland and we get sunshine for like a week, so it's just it doesn't bother me that much. But I think it was.
That's a lie.
I know.
You know that's a lie. You're trying to like talk yourself out of it, but you get
because I'm just
like,
a
it's been
cheap
sunny.
ass bitch.
It's been sunny for so long now, and even when it's not sunny,
nice.
this is the other thing. Like even when it's not that sunny now, I still change into my sunnies, just because I wear them so often. I think my eyes have just became really sensitive to light.
I can't do the glare.
So like I just have to like change out every now and then, which is annoying.
Well,
but
I mean, it's
most
like
of the time now I wear sunnies.
It's because you wear them, and it's also probably because of the fact that your room is like the inside of a Him album cover. It is so dark.
It is. It's a cave. I live in a cave. But again, this is just the mistakes that I'm living with. Like 14-year-old me wanted a black and purple room, so 28-year-old me has dealt with that for this long.
For 14 years.
Yeah.
Just buy paint.
Do you know why? Man, do you know how many coats of paint it would take to get this off the wall?
Of course, it's black. I never even thought.
And that. I have got so much furniture in this room. Like this is the biggest room in my mum and dad's house.
Flex.
But you wouldn't know because it feels really small because of the walls, and I've filled it with lots of furniture. So I'd have to take all this furniture out, and then there's nowhere else for the furniture to go. There is ways of doing it probably, but also I'm hopefully going to buy a house soon.
Yeah, so
that's true. I'll deal with it.
I know.
Yeah.
And at least now knowing that you can spread your one room of furniture over an entire house. You can spread it out over an entire flat.
Yeah, more than one room.
Should be good. It will actually be able to breathe a little bit. But that's fucking that is so mad. Like there will come a point soon where you won't live in your childhood home.
Yeah, and it's strange because like I've been ready for a long time, to move out. It's just circumstance hasn't really allowed that to happen. Yeah. Like I was ready good few years ago now, like 5 odd years ago. Even before that, I was ready. It just again circumstance didn't allow. So now I'm at a point where I'm like, right, okay, cool, and I'm also at a point now where it feels good to know that I've managed to save up enough money to buy a place rather than just like rent out. Like
yeah, man.
Not that renting's a bad thing, but you're just paying off someone else's mortgage when you could get yourself one. Yeah. And because I've lived at home, I've not really got myself in any sort of like financial troubles, so it should be quite easy for me to get, or it is going to be quite easy for me to get a mortgage and just kind of live a nice wee cushy life.
Yeah, man. And but the thing that's in the back of my head is just like you've lived with your family your entire life, and you're getting out at 28. Like I can't remember how old I was when I moved out. I think I was 18 or 19 when I moved out with my folks. So I think it just feels like a very big thing. I don't know. It might not to you, but to me it does.
I mean, it is. But I'm you know me. I'm quite an independent person anyway. Yeah. I quite enjoy doing things on my own, and like, I can cook, I can clean, I can do all the things that an adult should do. Yeah. And I'm ready for it. Yeah. Yeah. It would have been good to do it a couple of years ago, but
just never works out. No.
Yeah, man.
Stuff like that just doesn't work out. Like, I mean, the first time I moved out, I lived in the living room of somebody else's flat, and I paid them like £100 a month just to stay in their living room. And I think I was there. That sounds dreadful. Well, it was pretty bad. Like, I didn't mind it that much because I was still young, and I was like close to town, and it was a point where I was like, I was drinking a lot and going out a lot. But there was some nights where the people I lived with, there was 4 of us that lived in that house, and 2 of them worked in a call centre. I think they both worked in the same call centre actually, and they would do like shifts. So some nights they would be working like at night. So they would get up at like 6 in the evening or something, and then they would come into the living room where I was. I don't maybe sit and watch TV and stuff, but then they would start playing like fucking some bullshit game on the Wii, and they would be there until like fucking 1 a.m, and then I've got to get up for work at like 7 because I worked a 9 to 5, so that grew, that got shitty really quick, to the point where I was just like, I cannot fucking do this. But then one of the guys, he moved back home, so I got claim of the room, and then the couple that I was living with fucked off to Govan Hill and left me with a house to myself. And then I had another person move in, and I think we made it about 3 weeks, and I was like, nope, cannot do this, because there was like people sleeping on my floor and shit every other night, just like bringing people back, and it was just like the place turned into like a fucking pit, and I was just like, I can't fucking live here, cannot live here.
And that's the thing about like me moving out at this age. Like I kind of like hearing all the stories that my friends have had over the years about like living with flatmates and stuff. Like kind of solidified to me that I didn't want that. I just didn't want to live with people. Like
I didn't. Like, I don't think I had. I don't think I really have like good flatmate stories. All of them kind of didn't end well, if I'm being honest. Like it was. I mean, I lived with. I think I moved in. Me and Emma moved in together in 2014. I think it was 2014. We moved in together, and I moved out of my mum and dad's place in 2012. 2012? Yeah, about 2012. So for a good 2 years, I was living with flatmates, and none of it ended well. I don't speak to any of those people anymore. Basically. Yeah,
you jumped around quite a lot like back then.
Yeah, I was in quite a lot of different houses. One of them was a brothel that I didn't know about. That was a thing. I still don't understand to this day how I didn't fucking know that it was a proper brothel. It was in the papers and everything. It was all over the papers.
Yeah, like flats still come up all the time in that place. Like, because like when I was like still looking, you seen loads, and I was like, they were nice flats, but also drug dealers.
Yeah.
I mean, don't know how comfortable I'd feel.
Oh, you were in that flat, weren't you, when we lived there?
Yeah.
The actual furniture and the furnishings of those houses are so shoddy, man. Like, see if you use like particularly strong like detergent, the floor would start to warp and shit. Like, it was so cheaply made. That place was horrible. And our landlord, he would just like show up at our door and like let himself in. So we started leaving like the keys in the door, so he couldn't get his keys in the door, because he would just let himself in where we're like in a fucking shower or something. Just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Messed up.
It was so like, it was a proper creepo, full blown fucking creepo. He really freaked me out, man. That was another horrible. I fucking I've not had a good time like renting and stuff. Thankfully, the place we're in now, our landlord is so fucking low key. He's so chilled out about stuff. If something is broken, he'll get somebody to fix it, but other than that, you never fucking hear from him. It's great, and it's like kind of reasonable rent for the area we live in. The rent around here, man, holy shit, it blows my mind when I see other flats going up for rent on like our street, and I'm just like, I really hope our landlord doesn't catch wind and start charging us that, because we straight up will not be able to afford to live here anymore.
Yeah. Let's hope he stays sound for a bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, we would also like to get to a point where we can go and buy our own places. We've got the 2 kids are sharing a room, and Luna's definitely getting to the age where she wants her own space. But I mean, we're also just thinking it could also just be a phase, because Mac is in that particular stage just now where he is just a complete full-blown menace. Like, he doesn't leave you alone. And I think Luna's genuinely just like, I just need some space. I just need to get away from him for a bit.
We can all relate to that.
So yeah, it would be nice to get our own place. It's like a 3-bed to give them their own space and stuff, but it's just, if it's in the cards, if it works out, we'll hopefully get to that point, but we're not stressing out about it. We're quite comfortable where we are. Everything's close by. The school's right next to us and stuff, so it's ideal where we are, but I think there will come a point where we're like, it's just too small. Just can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and it will be as the kids get bigger. You know, they kind of determine everything right now.
Yeah. Like we're living our
That's how
entire
it goes.
until we turn like 46, and then they're old enough to fucking move out. Then, I mean, how old will Mac be when I'm 46? So how old am I right now?
You're 28.
28. Mac will be 2 soon. So 46 is, I can't even do that math. He'll be about 18 at 46. So fuck off. Get your own house, mate.
Yeah.
So by the time I'm
No, that's fair
by
enough.
the time I'm 50, I'll say by the time I'm 50, I'm hoping my kids will be comfortable enough to be moving out. I wouldn't force them out. I would never do that. But then I'll
You
have
would.
like
You
at 50
definitely would.
Get the fuck out, man! Get out! And then I've got a good solid, like, I don't know. I might make it to my 70s. So I got another good solid 20 odd years in me.
Couldn't think of anything worse.
What, getting old?
Yeah, living. Just no thanks.
Not anymore. Can't do it.
As soon as possible.
Please
Try
take
to
me out.
check out,
Take
please.
me out. Oh, oh Jesus. Oh fuck. We are over an hour already. That felt very fast. And it disappeared very quickly.
It did.
That was good. We'll just, I don't know. Just thanks everyone for listening. Please continue. What's the 3 things? Like, follow, share, subscribe, and save, and do all the things, please.
Yeah. That. Like, follow, and subscribe. That's the,
That's the one.
that's the one.
Like,
Tickle that little
Be nice-
bell icon on YouTube, you know, so you get the notes, the notifications.
They write some stuff down. But I mean, we've just, speaking of the YouTube, I know it's not, people aren't going to sit in front of a little blank picture for an hour. We would like to get to the point where if the numbers start going up and we do get good reaction, that we'll start doing a video pod as well to go alongside the recordings. But we'll we'll gauge it as we go along, and that will probably be, I don't think we would do it in the circumstances we're doing just now. I don't think we would do it. If we could do this every week where we're in the same room, then we would try and set it up so we could do a video and have like
Yeah,
mud
but-
wrestling and shit.
Yeah, we are still finding our feet, so, you know,
Yeah.
we're getting there.
It'll all come in due time.
Yes.
But yeah,
Right,
cool.
I'm gonna go.
So like, follow and subscribe and all that shit. And Gary is gonna take off, and I'll just sit here and say the Cheerios. Thank you for listening. We have been Dead Friends, and we'll speak to you next week.
Love you so much. Love you, man.